Well, I just I just get to start all over again. I had the silly little arrow pointed at a little red thing that stops the video. Anyways, I'll start over. I can do that. I'm still breathing. That first part was really good. You'll never get to see it, which is unfortunate because I don't know how to carry on from where I stopped and all that crap. Anyways, I went home. I may understand why the Lord did that. Oh, yeah. I went home for lunch. I made lunch for us, my lady and I, and I do not like being late for work, so I was booting her out to my old Ford truck pretty quickly. And as I went past this giant spruce tree, the wind was really blowing, eh? I mean, it was blowing. At the Didsbury overpass, when the wind blew, the house shook. In the dead of winter, snow came in the wall and landed on the blankets on your bed. It was invigorating if you could have enough blankets to keep from freezing your buns off. I saw a little tiny chunk of bark fall off the bottom of that tree, and what is called, I call it broke stride, and so I stopped and I tried to understand, what did I see? What had I seen? I think it was a chunk of bark. I think the wind was blowing the tree so hard that it was flexing and a chunk of bark fell off. And as I was kind of pondering the subject, which didn't take too long, I heard a still small quiet voice. I'm quite familiar with that voice. He certainly talked to me enough. And he does not always say anything really that I want to hear. Oh, he is my taskmaster, let me tell you. And he said a wise man would consider the wind and move his car. I said, well, you made me, so you sure do know that I'm not wise. But I said, I can move my car. And I said, I'll just do that. So I went over to my 56 two-door. It was called a 210. I hadn't got an engine in it yet. I popped her out of gear, and I rolled that little girl down the driveway quite a ways. And then I ran for my 57 two-door hardtop, and it was a nice toy. I fired that little girl up, and there's my big friend walking by there. Oh, don't look at that F. Trudeau thing. That's, I'm not sure the spelling's right anyways, but anyways. Trudeau's not my favorite person, but let's not mention that to anyone. Oh, dear Lord. Jeez, you could get banned from using the public washroom. Anyways, I moved 56, and then I ran for my 57. I fired that little girl up. Boy, she could talk to you. And I backed her up out of the way, and I booted her into town to my old Ford. I'm not going to say this, but I really had to step up to get into that truck. It had 40-inch Monster Mutter tires and a 6-inch lift kit, and dear Lord, it was good. It helped me stretch everything. And I hoofed her into town pretty hard, and when I got there, I walked into the house that I was working in, and the lady had told me, she said they were disappearing for about 3 days because I was respraying their kitchen cupboards, and I used acrylic type lacquer, and oh my, it was strong. And so I walked in the door, and the phone was ringing. This was before mobile phones, pretty sure. And it was my wife I just made lunch for. And she said, why did you move the car? I said, well, I was going by the stump of the tree, and I said, why do you ask? She said, well, the tree just blew down and landed right where the 57 Chevy had been parked. I said, oh, dear Lord. I said, that's pretty good. I said, I am beginning to understand my God a little better. He does like Irish people, that I know. It could be that we're a bit simple. We choose to listen. I always listen. I do not always be obedient. And I said, "You're serious?" She said, "Yes." The Lord had just told me 12.5 minutes earlier. Oh, it might have been 20. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It sounds good. And I moved the car, and the tree blew down. And I thought, that's really good. You cannot drive a 57 Chevy two-door hardtop if the roof is down at the level of the seat. I don't think you can. Anyways, I have experienced the joy of being simple. People don't understand the benefit of that. Intellectually, I am not interfering with what God is trying to do in my life. Oh, perhaps on occasion. Anyways, God spoke. I moved the car. All is well. At the Ditchbury overpass, a man pulled in one day driving a Nissan pickup truck. And on that Nissan pickup truck, there was about 4 foot of lumber. And he spoke to me. I was working in my little cabinet shop there, and he said, "Would you mind if I unloaded my lumber over there in the yard somewhere?" Because he said, "I have a headwind today," and he says, "It's just going to blow my motor." He says, "I'll pick it up next Sunday night or next Friday night when I'm going back north." And he says, he would so appreciate it. I says, "Oh, gee, not bad. Brother, just go put that stuff off over there." And I thought, buy a truck, eh? But I didn't tell him that because, I mean, he probably got 200 miles to the gallon. And my Ford, we didn't get that good of mileage. And so Thursday of the next week, my father, I was working away, and my father said, "What are you going to do when that man gives you that bottle of whiskey that he has for you tomorrow as a token of appreciation?" I said, "You're kidding." He said, "No." I said, "Well, I don't have a clue. I don't have a blessed clue." So I didn't bother about it too much, and next day, that guy pulled in on Friday, I don't know, late afternoon, whatever, doesn't matter. And I saw he was loading all that lumber and got it on that poor little tiny truck. Oh my goodness. You want to live by faith, drive a real small truck doing a real big job. And I kind of stood in the door and I kind of watched him because I was real curious about what the Lord had said the day before. And that little guy, he drove by me, headed out to the road, and he waved, and I kind of watching him. I thought, oh, my hearing's really gone in the toilet. And all of a sudden, the little guy stops. And he put her in reverse, and he backed up to where I was standing at the garage door, and he got out, and I mean, he was not happy. He just kind of grudgingly carried that little bottle of whiskey over to me. And I had pondered it. I did not drink at all at the time. I confess to having really made up for it since then, but I really try to behave myself and curtail, and I quit several times, and every time I quit it, I didn't miss anything. No, I may have missed a lot when I was drinking, let me tell you, oh dear Lord. Anyways, I don't anymore much. Tiny bit. And he walked over, and I'm kind of studying that man, because I had just gone from thinking I hadn't heard the Lord to really pondering, what am I going to do with this stupid bottle? And because I sure wasn't going to give it back to him. I mean, well, I could have. Oh, I probably should have. And he says, I just want to give you this bottle. I think it was vodka or something. And he says, I just want to say thank you for letting me store my stuff here. I said, oh, gee, thank you very much. What a surprise. You wouldn't be telling him. I wondered if he was going to fail what the Lord was saying when he was driving away. Anyways, he handed me that bottle. I looked at that bottle. I watched him drive away. And I thought, what are you going to do with a bottle of vodka? And I thought, I remember in the Old Testament they used to have what was called a drink offering. Anyone has a real issue with alcohol, please forgive me, because what I'm going to tell you next is it's not what an alcoholic wants to hear. I'm not an alcoholic, but nonetheless. I opened that bottle and I held it out at arm's length, and I said, God, this is what I'm going to do with this bottle. I said, I'm going to pour it out. I just want you to know I truly appreciate the heads up that you gave me, because I'm not sure what I would have done with that. I may have an idea what I would have done with that bottle. I would have had nothing to do with pouring it out. And anyways, I took the lid off that bottle, and I started to let that go, and it got down to the last 2 inches. And I turned that bottle real quickly, and I looked at that stuff in there, and I thought, I really would rather drink this than pour it on the ground. And I thought, that's Bruce again. Yep, same shirt. Good thing you didn't see that one. Mr. Trudeau would not be happy, but we're in Alberta. And we do have freedom of speech until we say anything that somebody doesn't want to hear. And anyways, I thought, I have never in my life wanted a drink before. And I'm telling you, it was not good. And I took that right arm, which had become rebellious, and I forced that thing to turn that bottle upside down and pour her all out. And I looked on the floor and I thought, you're an idiot. But no, I don't really believe that I was. I still have a few questions about that. Anyways, 2 little short stories. Don't amount to much. But they tell me I have to have these cut down to about 15 minutes or people won't watch. Shoot, I wouldn't have a clue. I think I have 14 people watching now. I'm doing pretty good. 10 videos on and 14 people. Oh, terrible. Children, you have a good day. Hope it didn't bore you too much. Irritate you too much. I do tend to irritate people. So listen. I almost feel like telling you one more story. I don't have a clue. I'm going to ponder that for about what I do. 2 or 3 seconds. Hey, okay, here it is, real quick. I was working for a builder in town, and I was working on this rather luxurious sort of house in Didsbury, and as I was working away late at night, the little tiny compressor that I was using to airbrush the cupboards a little bit knocked over a quart jar of shading lacquer, black white lino. Oh, gee. Oh, wonderful. And I thought, oh, this is going to be real expensive. I took my shirt off, only towel rag I had. I wiped as much as that up, and then I looked over, there's another rag. I wiped some more. I took some lacquer thinner, and I washed that area. The floor's about 3 foot big. It was real big. And I was sitting there kind of whining to myself, though I wasn't talking because I don't complain. Oh, but you would never know the difference if you saw my expression. And I was sitting there and I thought, I'm going to buy this contractor a new floor. A new floor. And about the time, actually it wasn't late at night, it was about 4 in the afternoon. Then the builder and the homeowner, they walked in and they saw the mess. And that homeowner had the longest fingers I'd ever seen on anyone. We won't think about that at all. And he was shaking his ugly finger at my travesty that I'd created on his floor. And the builder says, don't you worry, we'll have a brand new floor in the morning for you. And I thought, yeah, and I'll be paying for it. They walked out, and I thought, I can't even afford lino for my own little place that I rent, let alone buy lino, this expensive a lino in a contractor's house that's being assumed possession or the next day or the day after. It was real close. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at it, and I thought, what would Jesus Christ do? And I thought, well, first thing he'd do, he wouldn't have dumped the stupid can of crap all over the floor. And then I thought, okay, so the milk spilt. We're not going to sop it up. And so I said, here is the dumbest idea that I have come up with in a long time. So I just kind of moved everything off that giant spot. Oh, geez. Oh, that lino, it was about a quarter of an inch thicker than the lino surrounding it where the black lacquer had gotten on it. Oh, it was ruined. And I put my hand in the middle of that lino and I thought, oh, I have a sense of humor. And I'm just about as dumb as you're going to get. And I put my hand on it, I took my hat off, and I said, I speak healing into you in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I thought, oh dear God, please don't let anyone be listening to me because they're going to book me right into the first insane asylum there is. I walked out to my truck, and I had no shirt on. Well, I'm not much ashamed of much, but you don't want to be walking in town with your shirt off unless you're a bodybuilder. I have seen a bodybuilder. Oh, my goodness, that lady put me to shame. Oh, geez. Anyways, I walked out. I drove home. I was kind of upset. I got to the Didsbury overpass, and I was really disenchanted with my stupidity. And I was kind of whining. I wasn't using words, but inside I was whining, and I wasn't complaining about the Lord. He didn't knock the stupid thing over, I did. And phone rang, 7 o'clock, and homeowner, he said, what did you do to my floor? I said, well, actually, I think I ruined it. He said, no, what did you do with my floor? I said, I don't have a blessed clue. I said, what's with your floor? He said, my wife and I have been down on our hands and knees. I thought that's a good place for you. And we can't find the mark. I said, you got to be kidding. He said, no. And he said, you are going to tell me what you did. Because if my floor goes to the dogs in 6 months or a year, you're going to tell me, because it's perfect. I said, you got to be kidding. He said, we can't find the mark. I thought, you really need glasses or something. It was so big. He said, I demand that you tell me. I said, hey, I'll tell you. I said, I put my hand on the middle of it, and I commanded it in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth to be healed. He slammed the phone down. I don't blame him. Well, I do. Actually, I do blame him. I tell you, I do. I phoned the flooring guy that night. I think it was that night. And I said, did you go back and change that lino in that house? He said, no. He said, why? I said, because I spilled a bunch of lacquer on it and ruined the floor. And he said, no, he hadn't. I said, well, you sure? He said, no. I thought, that's cool. You see, people liked me. They would do stuff like that for me because, well, people take care of simple people, right? Simple. And I qualify in many areas. And anyways, that floor passed, that owner bought the stupid house. And I thought, homeowner, you're a preacher. You're supposed to be a man of God. So I listened on Sunday morning. I went to his church, and I wondered, was he going to tell anyone what happened? You know, he never breathed a word of that. I thought, this day and age of selfish self-grandizement is just so stupid. Anyways, a year later, they kicked him out of the church. I must say, I kind of, I didn't stand up for him very much. I did not like that man. I do not like preachers who require that the church serves them. That's opposite. We serve each other. Anyways, he was having a garage sale, and so I went to the garage sale. I didn't want to buy anything. I said, sir, would you be terribly offended if I walked in there and I studied that floor for a little bit? He looked at me. He didn't like me. I didn't like him. I really didn't. I didn't enjoy his preaching at all. Oh, my goodness. It's not my type. And so I went in, and I studied that floor. I got down on my knees. I didn't pray. I'd already done that once. It got healed. I was not going to mess with it again. And I could not see the mark. Unbelievable. Anyways, I thank God. And I thought, my God, I know he takes care of fools, children, and old women. And he's taken care of me every day of my life. Listen, you're going to live till you die? Think about it. Hey, I'm trying to lighten up a bit here. I got over telling you about my son and his broken neck and his crushed skull. I'm telling you, when I was done doing that little video, I didn't have an ounce of anything left in me. So I'm just trying to take it easy today. Hey, I don't exaggerate. What God does, God does. No one ever has to exaggerate and lie about how great God is. He is. Have a good day. God bless. I'm going to shut this off now. I don't want you to get too excited and fall off your stool or something. You're going to live till you die. You just do it to the best, eh? God bless.